Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Banished with me, Lathsburg, and of course, a welcome back to our little miniature fishing strip of land, or perhaps even the poor region of Lathsburg. So, in today's episode, we're going to be finishing off this area, making sure the market is functioning, finally deciding what to do with this patch of land here, and ensuring that all of the fisheries and the tidal pools are all working nicely in their little areas. In addition to this, we're going to be trying to sort out our fuel crisis, which honestly seems to be sorting out itself at the moment, and we're going to be trying to finish off this area here, which now has enough space for an amazing 5 more wharf and ships, which will actually be the same amount as which is currently on the island currently. But of course, since the population here will be shared between the two, it's still pretty much the same kind of land, the same kind of area with the same purpose. After this, we're going to have to look at the remaining areas of the map and how we're actually going to use them. So that's this really large section here, which will probably become something similar to over here, to do with metal and ore processing, in addition to perhaps making a small island here, perhaps making the shoreline encroach into the river to get more food for our growing population, which has now broke the 800 barrier. Sorry, the 500 barrier. There was me looking at 80 and thinking 800. Wow, that's a lot of nomads. No thank you. I don't want any more uneducated people here. We actually had a small problem a while back with the uneducated flooding into our population due to several teachers dying at once, which wasn't exactly a good thing, which led to the Great Tool Plague. So, yeah, let's get started then. We also actually have the deep mine now currently producing coal, and we're still out of coal constantly. All of these mines are now producing coal, and we have 2 deep mines now, both also producing. So hopefully we'll get some more labourers which can become miners over the course of the episode. But for now, I think what we'll do is we'll allow the parish house to be completed, and the market, and we'll be right back once that is the case. It seems that Fortune has a different plan for us today as the island buildings start to burn horribly, and I begin to notice something which is a major problem. It turns out, whilst on this island, the villagers will not understand that this is water, because of course they can't get down the sheer cliffs, meaning that this is actually one of the most vulnerable to fire areas I actually have on the map. I didn't realise this, so I didn't bother building a well. Well, I did, but not exactly here, it's somewhere in the forest. So what I'm going to need to do is build wells here to avoid this in the future. There's a good chance we're going to lose most, if not all, of our island buildings at the moment on Blubber Island. Not exactly the best thing to see though. I'm hoping the wharf and ships will survive, as they are easily a lot more expensive than the town abodes. You may also notice a lot of people aren't working at the moment, and that's because... Is everyone bugged out? Everyone's bugged out, I can't even get to them. That's because the stone cutters no longer have a job as the quarry has broke down. Also, the game just paused really weirdly then. Okay, that wasn't me, at least I don't think it was. Perhaps it was, but I don't think so. Well, is this going to carry on? Is anyone actually helping out? Nope, not at all, just standing there. Well, apparently it burned itself out, thankfully, so it wasn't as bad as I thought. Still pretty darn bad though, and here's hoping that won't happen in the future. The poor district is currently almost finished, which is fantastic. As you can see, we have the new parish house, thus able to actually take more worshippers, so that's going to hopefully help out our happiness. We have the tiny little food market here, which is absolutely adorable, and we have most of the other buildings finished as well. During the rebuilding of Blubber Island and the production of new buildings, such as the wharf and ships over here and the new quarry, we have ran into 3 minor problems, all of which I'm already starting to fix. The first problem is our clove count is dwindling dangerously low. This is because until just now I had forgot I had one of our 2 tailors working on pouches rather than clothes. Of course, the pouches being used for the chartered company to make us some honeydew, some delicious food, which we can't grow otherwise. We then have started running out of herbs, mostly because of the production of spirits, the production of alcohol over in the distillery, which uses quite a few of them, and we had actually completely encroached on our herbalist's ground, which is all the way over Where are you there? Here's our herbalist. Can you see the problem as to why they're not getting many herbs anymore? The entire area has been essentially built on, so we are now building a new herbalist down here to fix that problem. In fact, the herbalist is just now being worked on, so that's fantastic. Some of this stuff has already been removed, and finally we are starting to run out of tools. Now originally I thought that was purely because we simply didn't have enough coal, but it may just be we need a new smithy. Three I think actually. Do we have three? No, we have 4 smithies, one of them not upgraded yet, currently working, so perhaps we need a 5th, maybe even a 6th. So that's all stuff I'll be working on now, which of course, sadly, will further slow down the production of this area, but thankfully, almost all of that is now finished. We have the parish houses, we have a lot of hunting blinds in the area, because, well, they don't really take up much space. This one was accidentally built under a house, but yeah, they're quite good because you can put them pretty much anywhere and they'll function perfectly well, so that's one of the big benefits to these things. So we have all of those going on, we have our little mini market sorted out, we have our houses, our parish house, everything's good, so it's time to start working on, well, making this place look like a poor region, honestly, making it look like a functioning area, somewhere where work is being done. We already have some of the ghost stuff produced from before, the ghost decorations that is, so let's continue with that. We have our flag here. Let's go and cycle over to the... oh, there we are, the British flag. If we can get back to it, that'd be fantastic. There we are. Let's put that next to the market. After that, I would like somewhere to sit. Although it's a poor region, I don't think Lathsburg should have anywhere poverty-stricken. I mean, that's why we've been removing the tiny shacks in place for these side houses, which are much better looking. So let's have a quick look-see. We do have fruit plants, which are quite nice. We have wild plants, which are just made of wood, and of course these won't be knocked down by the forester. Of town oak, we have... what else is there? That's rather nice, but is there any which look... there we go, something like that, something which looks obviously like it's not really meant to be part of the natural fauna. We also have stumps as well. I think they would be kind of cool near here. They look like something where work has been done. So let's have a couple of stumps like that. There we go. That's not as impressive as I thought it was going to be, honestly. Perhaps because it's winter? It's autumn? Do the trees actually get affected by this? The town versions? I don't really know. Now these, how am I going to do this? Okay, well we have the little parish house here, so originally we were going to make a cemetery anyway, so let's quickly do that. Just the regular cemetery would be fantastic, thank you very much. Oh, can we... oh, it's really not big enough, that's a shame. Oh, there we go, that's absolutely fine, not quite where I wanted it to be. But that's fine, then that way we can have the stone wall going past that. Oh, I thought the stone road, rather, would be able to fit in that gap, but apparently not. Okay, delete that and replace it. Don't want that just simply facing a wall. Not really the smartest place for an entrance now, is it? How about we have it there? Okay. And that's for the poor region. Now, I'm thinking we could put a bit of a wall here. That way, once again, kind of segregating this area from the rest of the town. Not a massive intrusive wall, though, because once again, I don't really want it to be as if, you know, that it's a poverty-stricken, truly horrible area. But I would like it as if it's... you know, it's clearly that place, it's clearly a separate entity from a lot of the rest of the village. We could just have it like this, which will probably hit the quarry there, but that's fine, just a little bit of a wall there, a little bit of a wall there. And we'll neaten that up later once it's actually built and we can see what it looks like. And then we need to sort out this area, so we want arches. Now, do we want... see, this arch I think is a bit too grandiose, so what else do we have in terms of openings? Fences that you can pass through, obviously that won't be really too good looking. We have the Colonial gate here, that would look okay, I think. Okay, yeah. Let's go with the Colonial and just... is there a corner piece? Excellent. Apparently we can do that on the lantern itself, which actually I think is going to look quite nice, because it'll look like it's part of the fence. Okay, we'll see how that looks, and we'll see how the walls actually stack up, and then we'll figure out how to fill in the rest of this space. As I want this to look as busy as possible, while still being efficient. That's kind of the vision I've got here. I've also just noticed we're actually finally burning down the wood fast enough to supply all the houses for the first time in a very long time. So yay for that. Whilst I'm waiting for all of the little things to be built around the village, I think it's about time we test out some of the port walls. So here we have one of our lovely wharfen ships. It's going to be a bit of a test subject here, and we're going to test if we can extend its little foundation here outwards to make this area, this little corner, look more like a proper dock section. So from what I can tell, you can actually put these essentially anywhere. It doesn't actually have to be on the edge of a well, an edge of the water or anything else. It can be in the middle of the water, it can be in the middle of the island, it doesn't matter. In addition to this, it's built instantly, I think. Yep, there we go, it's built instantly as soon as you unpause the game. So, let's see if we can try to make this edge, this really awkward looking edge, look decent. So what do we have here? We have the straight pieces, then we have the inside wall pieces. Okay, I'm not quite sure how that fits in. We then also have the outside piece. Okay, that's more like the corners I'm used to. And the diagonal pieces. So we have... let's just put them all down next to each other so we can actually have a quick look-see at the different variations. And unpause. There we go. Now I'm hoping these can be deleted. If they can't, this is going to look really silly. Okay, you can't build on these, can you? You don't act as a foundation piece. No, okay. That would have been a little bit insane. But would have made a really cool, like, cement island in the future. Let's go back to where they were. There they are. Okay, so you don't really have all that much choice. That's just a thicker version of that. To do the corners, do you? I mean, that's more like what I want to see. Perhaps we put on the outside something like that, but that doesn't really match up. So how does this match up to the others? This one seems really out of place, the inner piece. I guess we should go with what it's actually called. This is an inner, and that is an outer. So I'm assuming these both connect? Oh, like that. Okay, that's neat. Actually, that might be what we're after. So let's get an outer piece then. Put it there. Well as it can connect. At least it connects with the actual fence piece, although that does stick out a little bit. Oh well. Then we go with the inner section, which then can fit like so. Okay, nice and easy. Outside again, then inner. As soon as it loads up, there we are. Okay, I'm not so happy with these little spikes of stone sticking out there, but overall, okay, that does look really nice actually. If we went like that around as much as the island as possible, it would certainly make it look more like a dock town than it currently does. Okay, let's use a diagonal piece now, or should we just continue how we were going? That might not be the worst idea. Or have the outside piece, then have the regular straight pieces. Not too keen on that, to be honest. I don't like how that one juts out more. Is that the same with these? Yeah, it's the same with those as well, so you can't really get away with that. Because that looks so much smoother. I guess if you had a straight line for a longer period of time, that would look more normal at least. So remove that. And go back to the decorations, and back to what we've just done. So what if we just did a turn straight away? No, it'd be too sharp a turn. Okay, so we do need at least a couple of these. Probably not all three though. How about two instead? There we go. And then we do a turn. And then we go back in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue this for a bit of the island here. I don't think I'll do the inside here very much. I think I just want kind of the outside here, and definitely some of this edge here. And then I think it'll make it look a lot more, I don't know, like it's meant to be, rather than it was simply created and forced into being. Or perhaps it was created, but at least it had a purpose, rather than just me raising the dirt from the floor of the ocean somehow, using dark mystical powers. Ooh, is that loaded? That's a really small gate. Does it open? No, of course it doesn't. None of the gates open in this game. I mean... no, actually this will be one of the first times I'm just saying, no, I don't like this. That is not a kind of wall I like. I think we're just going to have to go with the regular thin wall and then the arc, or just have no gateway at all, because I do not like the colonial stuff. Unless, of course, you're going with a full colonial look, and then you're going with like the saltbox houses and stuff like that as well. Then I'm guessing it would fit a lot better. It's also about time we actually started paying attention to the graphs within the Colonial Hall. As we can see, the population currently is in a very slow decline, and with this little slope here representing the fire that recently occurred. So what we need to do is ensure that at all times we have new houses being built, because of course eventually there will be a stable population, but I'm not yet happy with our current population being that population. The word population is now beginning to sound really weird in my head. So with that, we need to decide where are we going to build more houses and how are we going to have them, well, work. And the easy answer, honestly, is over here. With the Blubber Island and the new wharf and ships, we actually currently don't have enough workers for every single wharf and ship. And honestly, we can expand this down this route very easily by simply making this a little bit flatter. So what I'm going to do is remove the Gatherer's Hut, Hunter's Cabin and Hunter's Cabin, which I accidentally made two of, and replace all of this with a small urban development, a small housing area and market, which will help to serve all the wharf and ships in addition to the houses on the island itself. So we're going to start that right now. So let's get back to figuring out how we're going to do some of the things over here. And once again, I don't mind it if it looks not rich, but decently wealthy, because, again, I don't really want a poverty-stricken area within Lathsburg. Lathsburg does not need to be poor in any section, it just... I would like to have the different kind of groups of people in different areas. So we have the fishermen in one area, the blubber workers over there, the miners in another section. So it's all segmented as if it would be back in this kind of era. Ooh, now this gate would actually work perfectly. Okay, let's have a look at this gate instead. So I think this is the gate we were meant to use originally when we first started having this area as the rich area, which of course now turned into the government area, which oddly looks not very rich in the slightest, so maybe we need to fix that in the future. So let's have this like this. Yeah, that looks reasonable to me. Have the corner there, and then just have these all the way to the water. There we go, so we have a bit of an entrance area to this, which is exactly what I wanted. Nothing special, just a really small fence. We still need to figure out what to do here, and the problem is, every time I look at new things to put here, it's either too big or simply too imposing on the area and doesn't fit the style. We currently have hunters who are out of work, of course, because we just destroyed so many hunting cabins. Let's put those down to 22, there we go. So, what we need to do is figure out something small to put here. Now, we could have something like the candlery, because we already have two of them, we're still actually not keeping up with the amount of tallow we're producing. Seriously, we have tallow everywhere at the moment, and of course, candles can even be used as fuel. Here we are with the bundling shed. So, yeah, I think that's what we should do, perhaps one candlery. If I can remember where on earth they are, there they are. I mean, that's not too big, and we can put that next to the market, which of course will have tallow in it. Oh wait, no it won't, no it won't, because this is a food market. That would be a little bit inefficient, but not too much, because the tallow's being kept here, and honestly moving from one area to the other isn't a big deal. So we put that there, and then and now I want something here. I also do apologise for my stammer today. I've got a bit of a bad throat, and whenever I'm a little bit ill, my stammer tries to come out a lot more than usual. A lot of effort into something as simple as speaking. Okay, what else? Well, honestly, we do need a new tailor. But that would block the market location. See, I want it looking busy but not overcrowded, and that seems to be really difficult to do, especially since I've already put so many things down. Now we could have that house there and keep it there and have this here. Then what we could do is have like a path around it, like a road going in, so that could be like a storage house, almost like a house which belongs to either the fisherman or the market or the tailor itself. Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that, and let's start with some of the roads. Now, I think what we're going to use is dirt road for this. Dirt road being cheap and looking incredibly rural. Okay, so back in a second once all of that is put down, and we'll see if that's a little bit too busy or not. If it isn't that busy, we can continue to build buildings like that around the edges here. Our dwindling population is finally taking an effect. Before I removed the excess builders, we simply didn't have enough people to work the new buildings, and that is never a good sign. Also, my throat randomly completely went in the break there, so this will be the last clip of today's episode to make sure my throat doesn't explode. So, before we go, we're going to quickly convert this area into a glorious residential land for people to work on the wharf and ships, the farms over here, and whatever I end up choosing to have down here. It could be more wharf and ships, or it could simply be more farmland. Both are very good indeed. So let's begin with that. Now, the area over here, I wouldn't mind being a little bit more wealthy than the island itself. Something like perhaps the country houses, which are almost the same size, just a little bit bigger. In fact, actually now looking at it, a significant portion bigger than the town abodes, but they still look not overly rich. They still look very village-like. So I'm going to have these all the way along this mountain here, all using the white paint scheme, because I always think that always looks very Victorian and very clean, which is nice. We have ran into something. Okay, that's just road work. We'll delete that. Remove roads, all this area. And then we'll also put some on the way the other side as well. Shall we have them facing each other, or should we do something like we did over here? Obviously this isn't very efficient, but I do like this look of this really cobbled, old-style road in the middle. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so where's the end? This one is the end, okay. Back to country houses, and let's move this down 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one will be there, okay. And we'll do that again. So this is going to be a massive population boon. But first we're going to have to wait for all the roads to be removed. So we'll just continue the ones we actually have space for, so the labourers can actually start getting some of the work done. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, wait. 1, 2, 3, then, okay, I've got it, don't worry guys, I'm not going too insane. 3, and there, okay, there we go. That was really confusing. It's really difficult when you don't see the buildings, you just see these little blueprints, because nothing really means anything yet. So there we go, if I'm wrong I'll change it later, doesn't really matter too much. And we can also have space for a true market, and the market we're going to build over there is my personal favourite market, which is the rural market, which I think just looks way prettier than the others. We could even have perhaps a little bit of water food stock coming from here. That would be fantastic. Can we actually build in this little location over here? Oh, we can, but there's almost no space at all. Is there anything we could possibly force to be here? Ooh, I know one thing that could possibly be there. Now, this might not work, but oh, we can. A little fishery could be placed in there. In fact, yeah, by the looks of it, there's only 2 places it'll work, but because it's basically land, we could put it there. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. There's going to be a small fishery here. That's just going to have to happen. Okay, well, with that and with my throat rapidly degrading, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Banished is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Although it may not look like much has been done during this episode, multiple problems have been averted, multiple areas have been upgraded, and we have a plan for next time. So actually, today has been a day of success. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye. Do take care.